Heyo, just doing a really quick recap for this week about posts I did on Instagram and stuff. And so these are just various topics I came across and thought were interesting, and I'm going to elaborate a little further. So Monday I talked about a better product. There was a meme where it was like the price change didn't change. It was like $79.99 and then reduced to $79.99. I think the original meme was like, how people perceive discounts or something, but like I just kind of took that as like the notion of, you know I feel like upgrades, the examples I gave were like cars, computers, shoes, stuff like that. There's never like a true upgrade with those things. I never really feel like there's that many things that are like better, you know what I mean? Like every 10 years I would say something advanced, but obviously in this year by year scenario, it's just like I never really see these big changes. I have to upgrade to a better computer, but like what really expanded, like, you know and so I just kind of wanted people to kind of think that way and like understand that don't get fooled by discounts, and always question the things and their prices and stuff like that. Make sure you're getting bang for your buck. That was my only point with that. The next thing I posted about was LA wanting to like reduce their plastics and the pollutions. The only thing I wanted to talk about with that was that what interested me was they were saying in 2030, it's always like a decade from now, so it's like I always take it as like I get to say what I want, make you feel better, and then no one's gonna check it 10 years from now. So it doesn't matter. And yeah, they're talking about passing bills and it's going to be reduced by this time, but it's just like it's the same old thing. So I was trying to tell people, let's do it. Like, let's not wait for legislation. Let's be progressive on top of that. Let's not just let the politicians do all the tinkering. Let's also do it so we can say that we did as much as we can to make the world better, and heaven forbid a little quicker with the process of getting it a little greener and just a lot less trashy. I don't think there's any part of the world that doesn't have some form of trash that didn't float somewhere from somewhere else. So anyway, that was just kind of like annoying. Then I found this one's kind of a harder one to talk about. It was about bookmarkers, and it was just about like how you bookmark things. And so mine was like, it's a cool one to look up, so you should look up this meme that I posted for this date, which is in the YouTube video. But anyway, it's like interesting because my bookmark was something chaos. But anyway, it was like the idea that I use receipts to bookmark. So like the opportune best one was like the little handle that's attached. I don't even know what it's called. The little tether thing that's attached to the book in those fancy books. It looks like a lanyard type thing, or not a lanyard, but a little. I am blinking. When you graduate and you move your thing to one side to the other, it looks like that. Those things are attached to the book in fancy books, and that's used as a bookmarker. Totally blinking. Help me out if you can. Anyway, and then the cheapest form, or like the worst form of bookmarking, was the dog ear thing. So I just thought that was a fun little like, where do you stand type of thing. And then the other thing was I posted, this was like a meme I created, and I basically just took an image of a cup half empty, half full, and I equated it to traveling. So you could currently get upset because we live in a world in America, nobody wants us, so we can't travel internationally. So you can either take that as half empty and say, I cannot travel internationally, boo hoo, or you could take it half full and be like, well, at least I get to see my own country. So I was just trying to say perception. Just enjoy life, go with it. If something bad happens, then try to take a positive spin to it and see what you can do with it. I, for one, am like, okay, I can't travel abroad, that's fine, but I like the idea of traveling, state to state. I think that's cool. There's plenty of awesome things that America has to offer. And you don't need an airplane or boat or some public thing to do it. If you're lucky enough to own a car and the time and all that, then road trip. is my point. Enjoy those little simple things that we did as a kid. And then finally, my last name was wind turbine. The article is about how they're painting the wind turbines now, and that's actually eliminated bird deaths by like 70%, they claimed. So those big giant wind turbines you see in, for example, like Palm Springs and desert areas or very windy areas, sometimes out in the coast or near the water, you'll see these huge wind turbines. They're huge, and there's a percentage of and they actually kill lots of birds. Birds just don't get it, and they just get killed by these massive wind turbines. I mean, they're huge. I saw a picture of a dude on it for scale. Like the propeller is like 5 dudes, 12 dudes. So it's big. So these things are killing tons of birds. And so now they're like painting them, and it's actually reduced the bird death. And I'm just kind of saying, well, this is weird irony or whatnot, because I think they did it white to begin with. This is my opinion, because they were less gaudy. They matched the sky, and they looked peaceful and stuff. And now they're painting them so they don't kill birds, but then you kind of wonder what neighborhood person's gonna be like, oh, these ugly things, now I could see the propellers, they're orange or they're black, or you know what I mean. So you kind of think, okay, they did it one way for aesthetic, which I could be completely wrong. Maybe white was just the cheapest paint, I don't know. And then my other thought is what are the costs? Like that's a lot of turbines. These things are huge. That's a lot of paint. And then on top of that, how do you paint them? Do you take them apart, paint them, and then put them back up? Anyway, I'm thinking huge cost for that, just to do that. And I'm all for saving birds, but I'm just kind of going, dang, if only we prepared better as we're assembling it. But oh well, hindsight, right? So yeah, and then it got me thinking about one of my favorite companies that I admire, and it's Vortex Bladeless Wind Energy, and they're just a company in Spain trying to get wind energy to the public, so we can all get solar type things except with wind. But yeah, so that was this week. I wanted to talk quickly, just get those things into your head, just think differently. I like this week's theme. Just think differently. Like what I told people is accept everyone's tidbits, 2 cents, whatever. I don't care if you're crazy. I don't care if you're a doctor. Take everyone's tidbits and just, with a grain of salt, take it or leave it, but just at least understand where they're coming from or try to get what they're trying to convey. You don't have to believe in it. If somebody's going to bash on the race or something, you don't have to all of a sudden be like, oh, but you try and understand where they're coming from. Be like, okay, like, you're a horrible person or whatever, but I'll still try to get what you're trying to do. Well, I'm just saying there's smaller scales, obviously, you can do where it's just listen, and you never know what you might learn or acquire. So, alrighty, boy.